All right, guys, welcome back to the This is Raleigh podcast. Hey,
Welcome,
Kaz.
everyone. Hey.
Long time between chats.
Has been a long time between chats. It's been a pretty crazy start of the year. I'm looking, it's August. I don't even know where this year has gone or what we've done, but I know it's been busy.
Yeah, this year's gone super fast. And whether you are listening to us on your favorite podcast channels or watching us on YouTube or Instagram, IGTV, we have a new podcast set up.
Yeah, I'm so excited about it. And one thing that's really difficult for us is that, you know, we work from home and do everything from home. And we started our travel podcast from the bedroom closet because we were trying to get a nice soundproof room. And then we moved into our guest room. And so we had to set up and pack up after podcasting all the time. We had to carry a desk up the stairs, chairs up the stairs, set up all the mics, the lights, the cameras.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, and this is really important for anyone to know in anything they want to do in life, set up an exercise habit or start their own business or whatever, is you have to really remove as many obstacles as you can. And when you think about the drama associated with setting up that podcast, there's too many rooms for us to back out and say, oh, God, not today, it's too hard.
Too many hurdles. And that's what we did. We always come into the intention of, okay, we're going to be committed to this podcast. We're going to do one episode a week and, you know, we're going to be professional. Well, kind of professional. But, yeah, we're going to be committed. And, no, stuff happens. Life gets in the way, equipment issues, not the right setup, like you said. And, yeah, some of our episodes, I mean, we've done an episode from a campground. We've done them on our back deck and then always someone will start the blower or mowing their lawns or something. Dogs will start barking, but here we are. So I've been coming to Raleigh founded co-working space for about 12 months now in downtown, the Warehouse District. And part of our membership here, they've just started a podcasting room that members can get access to.
So good.
Thanks to the guys from Earfluence. You might be familiar with them. But yeah, it's part of our membership. We get a certain amount of hours per month. So they got all the gear. We just turn up, press play, press record and chat.
Makes it so easy. And now we can book it in. So we know, okay, on this day each week we're coming in, as you said, walk in, press play.
Yeah.
And away we go. And we can also shoot videos here, which is great because we want to do some like on-camera video stuff. So
we do.
It's really cool that we have this and can use it. So exciting news for everyone listening to the podcast.
If you saw behind the scenes at our place, we're in a two-story place and we're carrying lights, video equipment, podcasting equipment upstairs into our spare bedroom, rearranging the furniture, carrying desks and chairs up there. It was crazy.
Yeah.
So,
well, goodbye to that. Hello, new chapter.
Yeah. So what have we been up to? I'm trying to think. It's been way too long since we recorded a podcast and I know we've been busy, but what have we been doing?
Yeah, well, it kind of got crazy. It was April was our last recording. Now, we are the type of person that, you know, people, I should say, not person, where we think we have loads of ideas and we think, oh my God, we can do everything. This is going to be so great. And we jump into it, forgetting that our lives are pretty crazy, given that we travel a lot with our two children. We also have the travel blog and this one. So we tend to take up on more than we actually can do, thinking that we can, but we can't. But anyway, so back in April, we had a lot of travel pop up. And if anyone just, you know, takes a vacation, you know how much is involved in that. Well, as I said, we're doing it with our kids and also having to take photos, videos, create content while we're traveling. Yeah. And so it just consumes us and it just takes away all of our energy and the time that we have to do things like this. So we did a lot of travel. We were in Georgia. We were on a filming shoot down there for 4 Georgia state parks. We were filming the talent for their upcoming commercials and marketing materials and stuff, and also sharing it through our channel. So that was really cool. That was a lot of fun, actually.
Yeah. But like you said, it was 2 weeks and then we were fully into it for 2 weeks. We didn't touch other aspects of our business for 2 weeks. So we just got way behind on everything. And in case you don't know, we have 2 websites, This is Raleigh and whytravelblog.com. And the thing we were in Georgia for was for Why Travel Blog. And yeah, like it just consumed all our time and you just get further and further behind. And the podcast being the new thing was what got left the most.
Yes, that's right. So we had the travel and then, you know, creating all that content ourselves when we returned home around that trip was also super time consuming. We had like 4 videos to produce, 4 blog posts and lots of social media. So that consumed our time. But then we had super big things happen
Super big
for our life, in that we decided for our girls to go back to school.
Oh, yeah.
Well, actually, for Savannah, the first time ever.
To start traditional schooling.
And Kalira hasn't been since the 3rd grade back in Australia. So we found out last minute that they were accepted, Kalira especially, into a private high school. And we had 2 weeks before she would start. She's a year-round calendar. But she had nearly 2 months left of her current online school to finish.
Yeah, because mum and dad, the teachers at home in control of they've been going to an online school, so they had a curriculum and teachers and stuff to follow. But, us with our busy lives and the crazy year of 2020 and start of 21, yeah, we just got slack with them, sleeping in too much and not applying themselves.
We had a lot of travel as well, and with their online school, they set their schedule, so it didn't run to a traditional calendar. And so when they began it last year, they still had 2 months left until they finished. They get they set their own schedule, but they get 10 months to complete the coursework. So they were on track to finish it.
That is true.
It was just that all of a sudden she's going into a high school that starts in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And she still had 2 months left.
Yeah, because traditional, like non-private schools, have they even started yet or no?
If they're a traditional calendar, they will be, it all varies, but within the next 2 weeks, they'll be starting in different times and returning to school.
Yeah, so our kids are at a year-round school, which is awesome for us because that's what we're used to, that type of calendar from Australia. But I still get confused with all the different tracks and stuff in NC. Or Wake County.
This school is easy because they all follow the same track because they don't have large numbers. But when you're looking at the other schools in Wake County, and wherever it may be the same across the country, I don't know.
Different tracks or something?
Yeah, and it was created and designed to manage the influx of students and how overburdened the schools were. Obviously, we all know so many people are moving into this area, and the schools couldn't cope, so they came up with the year round with the track in, track out. And I think it's all dependent on every school, but typically it's about 4 tracks that come in and out at different times. So I think if you're at a public school on those different 4-track schools, I think that'd be so much to try and follow, especially if you have multiple kids and they're on different tracks. It'd be a bit of a nightmare.
Yeah, you hear those stories. I mean, obviously there's a lot of people relocating to Raleigh and the Triangle, and the schooling situation, if they have kids, is one of the most stressful things besides buying a house in this crazy market. And all the capped school situation at the moment, just the overflow and stuff. And you hear stories of families that got kids at 2 different campuses or on 2 different tracks, or even if both parents as school teachers, they can be on different tracks. It makes it difficult as far as vacation time and what have you.
Yeah, it's really difficult to get it to line up. And our girls are actually on different campuses. It's just the way it worked because those schools were filled, due to COVID. So many families took their children out of the public system and over to private school.
Yeah.
And so they've been overwhelmed as well. So our girls got in, but the only way they could get into the school at last minute was if they went to the separate campuses. So like I was just thinking this morning, wow, I can't, like so many things happen in our life, and the way that we've kind of lived our life is to just, put family and travel and then, craft our life around that. I was like, oh my God, we're actually really stuck in a dead end street in that we can't get out of the fact that we have 2 different campuses. We have to drop off our kids and pick them up each day. Like there's no way around it. There's no solution.
Now, just to be clear,
stop whining and do it.
Our kids go to the same school, but 2 different campuses. Our youngest is at a campus that's from kindergarten to grade 5, and our eldest from grade 6 upwards.
Yeah. But those campuses are 20 minutes apart.
Yeah, they're 20 minutes apart. And that just brings up another thing. This has been, you've been a school teacher in the past, so you're familiar with carpool, but this has been my first ever time experience the carpooling thing. And oh, wow. What an ordeal. I mean, it's now the first crazy week's over and it's starting to function smoothly. It's like a well-drilled military operation.
It's quite impressive, actually.
It is very impressive.
Yeah.
Like even where our youngest goes to, I mean, even the teachers even open up the door. Like,
yeah, they do.
It's like you're really arriving at a hotel and the bellboy opens up the door for you and then you go into the hotel. It's like crazy.
That's what Savannah says every day. Oh, I feel like we're just driving up to the lobby of the hotel.
But for me, it's like, oh man, this is crazy. Because in Australia, you just like drop your kids off at school at any time. Like you just pull up to the side of the street. There's no designated carpool lanes or system in place. You either bike to school, walk to school.
Catch the bus.
The buses are very limited. There's nothing like the bus system over here. But being in a private school here, they don't have a bus service. So it's carpool. Or you can walk there if you live close enough. So
yeah, many of the private schools in Australia had buses, though. I know ours did.
Do they?
Yeah, they organise it. I mean, it is very different. But as you said, like we wouldn't drive up to the school lobby and drop our kids off. We have to park the car and walk
at a
them in.
set time. Yeah, you just get there whenever, before the school bell, of course, and park wherever.
Yeah.
And just they either get out, and if they're old enough, walk themselves, or you escort them. But yeah.
And pick them up. And that's one thing we spoke about is, you know, when you're doing that back in Australia, it's a great opportunity for parents to meet one another when they're dropping their kids off. They kind of stand around and chat. Same when picking up, which can be a good and bad thing. But that's one thing we thought, we don't really have a chance to meet the other parents of the school.
Yeah.
Because we're just
you're sitting in your car. You're
so
like isolated. Yeah. So you got to rely on your kids to make friendships and then meet up the parents through that way.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, each school seems to have their own Facebook group and stuff like that where bit of chatter goes on.
Yeah. Not as good as the real thing. Like I was really looking forward to, you know, going for coffee after school with the mothers or Friday afternoon wine and
you're sick of me, aren't you?
Get to talk to them.
But yeah, like you said, being a teacher though, like if you have parents hovering around before and after class,
not good.
There can be gossip sessions going on,
it really
which can be negative about kids and teachers.
Yeah.
So if it eliminates some of that, maybe it's a good thing.
Yeah, and eliminates parents just dropping in on the teachers first thing in the morning when they're trying to get set up for the day and, you know, wanting to talk to them and stuff, because that's not good either. I remember as a teacher, it's like you're trying to get set up for the day and having people come and want and need you for something.
Yeah.
You know, it's not what's best for anyone, really.
Yeah, but we do love that our kids are on a year-round calendar, meaning they have more frequent breaks. You can talk about that from a teacher aspect, but also the fact that we run a travel business, we can avoid some of the peak travel times when every kid is off for 10 weeks in the summertime. Our kids have got 5 weeks, but then more
5.5
frequent breaks throughout the year. And they'll be off when other kids in traditional calendars are still at school.
Yeah, I know. I love it. I think it's great. As Craig said, that's how we do it in Australia. We have the 4 terms and the breaks between each term. And, you know, I've taught in Australia and taught over here. And when we moved over here, we, you know, to teach originally, we were of the travel mindset that we were coming over here to teach, but also to travel America. So we loved it, the traditional calendar, because we got 3 months off, almost 2.5 months over the summer, like me as a teacher. So we took off on long road trips. So
yeah, that was awesome.
That, from that perspective,
10 weeks was like,
it was great.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was awesome to have that much time off because it really suited our lifestyle. But for us, educationally, I didn't like it as a teacher because the kids would come after being out and they get longer than what the teachers did, you know, up to like 12 weeks sometimes, 10 to 12 weeks. So they would come back and forget everything. And so you're trying to get set up to start a new year, a new curriculum, and you're having to spend so much time catching them up from the last year's stuff because they just forget it. They're not going to retain it. You know that. We're all the same. We're humans, even adults. That, you know, we forget things if we have such a long break. And so I always found I would get tired trying to get through, you know, the year before you had your next break, which was a few days at Thanksgiving and then Christmas. And it was just such long stretches and the kids would be exhausted. And we know what it's like with learning. You reach a certain point where you're fatigued and exhausted and nothing goes in. So I just find that the more frequent breaks are so good for kids educationally, which is, one of the reasons I'm really happy the girls are in the year round.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I remember when we used to have our 6-week summer break in Australia, like it was so hard to go back to school after 6 weeks. I don't know how kids want to go back or teachers want to go back after 10 weeks. And I always think like if you have two parents who both are working, like that 10-week period, trying to occupy your kids or, I mean, obviously the summer school camp thing is popular over here, but that's expensive. That's not cheap.
I know.
Like it's so tough for two working parents to navigate through that 10-week period.
Totally. But I guess it is challenging in the same aspect if they have the more frequent breaks throughout the year as well. They still have to find something to cover them in those time frames anyway. But anyway, it's quite, the schooling system here is quite fascinating that there are so many different options and you can really find a school. I mean, it's complicated because there's all zoning and all these things that go into it, but you can really like dig deep and find something that suits your lifestyle and what you want out of education. Plus there's the homeschooling, online schooling options as well.
Which is way more common here than in Australia.
Yeah,
it's
really
very
is.
rare in Australia to homeschool.
Yeah, although everyone's been a homeschool teacher this past year.
For a period. Yeah. But yeah, no. Option. I mean, America, like options.
America.
It's like walking to the grocery store and there's a whole aisle of baked beans, like overwhelm. It's just like crazy. Like in Australia, we have like you go to your local public school or there's probably one private school and that's it.
Yeah.
Here there's like I said, homeschooling, there's private schools, there's charter schools, magnet schools, the Montessori schools, there's like schools and schools and schools. It's very overwhelming. And fortunately for us, putting our kids into school, if you've been following us online on Instagram and stuff like that, you know that we've been house hunting. One of the good things about the private school is we're not locked into a particular zone, so we can be a bit more flexible on where we want to live within reason. We don't want to have a massive commute for the kids because it'd be they got to get up pretty early and start early and be too tiring. And we kind of wanted to be in an area where the other kids I went to school with lived. So if they wanted to play after school on weekends and stuff, it wasn't too much of a hassle. But the amount of choices of schools here is just like overwhelming.
It really is. And if you're moving here, we know we have a lot of people listening and following who have either decided to move here or contemplating it. As Craig said, it's quite simple at home. So I think when you move to somewhere or you move around in Australia, I don't think you ever really think about the schools. You may look into it a little bit, but if you decide you want
ratings and stuff of schools,
and you wouldn't be so worried about how are you going to get into this school. I think it's there to some extent, but it seems like it's more of a big concern here, which is understandable. But so we found you have to be really organised because we didn't realise when it came to the magnet and the charter schools that we actually, because we were contemplating sending the girls to one of those, that we had to have our application in for that. January. And we decided like a week before the cutoff date. Yeah. And it was too late because we had to register them in Wake County Public Schools and then do that. So we completely missed that opportunity.
Yeah, the train left the station on a few of our options. So it even narrowed the field a little.
Yeah.
There are quite a few Facebook groups of people moving to Raleigh and stuff like that. And, they specifically look for houses within particular school zones. Like I said, we would never do that in Australia. Well, not really. Particularly only if there was a particular school, private school or whatever. But the zoning and the cap school situation right now, which is confusing as well. Kids are getting bused to alternate schools because they're just bursting at the seams. Like with 60 people a day moving into the county or the triangle.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Which is just nuts. And
it's been like that for a long time.
You can't build schools that quick.
No, you can't.
But it has been like that for a long time.
Yeah, even when I was teaching down in Johnson County, which is last year I taught, that was 2010. Even back then, that's when they started coming out with the different track outs and stuff because they just weren't coping with the amount of people coming here and it's just getting bigger and bigger. So it is a problem. But if you are moving here and if you do move into the school zone, then it's fine, you're in. But, there are plenty of schools in the Wake County that are magnet, meaning or charter, that you can apply even if you live out of zone. But, of course, there's restrictions on that. So just be aware that you do have to be prepared and get that application in before January. I'm sure there's probably exceptions somewhere. We haven't dived deep enough into that. To see, what those kind of exceptions are. But
we are
be prepared.
We've mentioned this in the past, and behind the scenes, we are working on slowly a relocating to Raleigh digital guide, and it's going to have a lot of information about schools and stuff like that. So we're going to interview some experts or people more in the know, up to date than us, because we've been kind of out of the scene for a while.
Yes,
to try and help you. But
I do want to say one thing though. Generally, the schools in Wake County are pretty good. Mm-hmm. So I know there's always panic about people, moving here and worried about the schools and is my child going to get in a good school or not? Yeah. Because the housing market's insane. So if you can't get into that zone that you want for a particular school, have your backups in place. But generally, Wake County public school system is pretty good.
Yeah, generally have a good reputation and have for a while. Mm-hmm. I mean, I understand people, parenting's tough. You want your kid to go to the best school that you can offer them. But I mean, it can be so hit and miss. Like, I just think, it depends on the social network they end up hanging around. Your parenting obviously is a big influence, the particular teacher, obviously resources that a school can provide. But I remember back where we grew up in Australia, like the top of the range private school had the biggest drug problem in the area. It's just like, so there's no perfect scenario, and every place has its issues.
Yes, and life experiences, we're big on that, given, that we've, up until now, our kids have travelled with us for a long time, full time. So we just know, just watching them learn and grow. And I mean, our youngest taught herself how to read, which still, even as a teacher, completely blows my mind. It just shows you how amazing learners kids are and what they're capable of doing, particularly when they engage in life experiences. I think so much lifelong learning comes from that.
Yeah. Now, just let me be clear. When I was talking about that drug issue, I'm talking about high school, like year 11 and 12. I mean, there's no good age to have a drug issue, but no, it wasn't elementary school or anything like that. All right, so that's quite a bit on parenting's tough. Like, schooling's tough. It's one of the big decisions you make, I guess. Mm-hmm. But we it's been a big transition for our kids. The first week was very tough, particularly for our eldest. But she's finding her feet now, and we're looking forward to this new chapter. Yeah,
it's actually really exciting. I love the school in the high school. The kids have to do 100 hours of community service before they can graduate. It's a graduation requirement. And so, they break it down to 25 hours a year. So I love that. I absolutely love that they're encouraged to give back to the community. And, we're excited to do that with Kalara. We started just this past Wednesday.
I was going to say, we may as well pivot into Raleigh City Garden.
Raleigh City Farm.
Raleigh City Farm.
Yes. An urban regenerative. I cannot say this word. I tried to say it when I was on stories sharing it, and I'm felt a little silly, but regenerative.
Regenerative. It's a tough one. Now three times really quick.
I can't do it 3 times.
Yeah. And if you're not familiar with that, it's located downtown near
Person Street.
Yeah, off North Person Street, right near Two Roosters Ice Cream and Standard Beer and Food.
Yeah.
Really
awesome part of Raleigh. I love that we have that and that this initiative has started, and it's a 1 acre lot, and it's just thriving down there. They've got all sorts of produce. They sell what they grow every Wednesday at the farm stand. I believe it's from April to October every year. So go and get your fresh veggies. I believe everything is organic. Yeah. And they also, what they have left over, they donate to different organisations in the community, like A Place in the Table, who serve people who need it. So I love that. And if you do compost now, we do compost now, We don't have a garden, so they don't return the compost to us because I can't do anything with it. So I donate that compost to the Raleigh City Farm. So if you do that, you can also do that. But there are different places in Raleigh where you can donate your compost to, but that's just the one I chose.
Yeah, awesome. And besides Clara getting her 1 hour of community service in at the farm the other night, why else were we there for?
Yes, wine. So Wine and Weeds on a Wednesday from 6 to 7 is their volunteering hour. You can register and sign up on their site. And, when you show up, they give you a glass of rosé that they get from the Wine Authority, I think, which is just a couple in that North Person Street area. Mm-hmm. And then you get your gloves and you pick and out you go. We're in the blueberry plants, the blueberry patch, digging up weeds.
Yeah.
It was great.
Gloves on, they give you a bucket, a little pickaxe thing, and not that we really needed it, I was just pulling them by hand.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was fun. Get hands dirty. It was nice and warm, so we had to hydrate, but it was great to get out and do a bit of gardening.
Yeah, it was great. Savannah was there with us, so it was nice that we did it as a family, and we get to benefit from Kalira's community service requirements, and so we're excited to do some more of that around the community and serve and give back as much as we can.
Totally. Very cool.
Yeah.
All right. So maybe we could pivot into house hunting now. As we mentioned that before, we have been looking for a house, and what a time to be shopping for houses right now. It's just nuts. I mean, the real estate market, not a good time to be a buyer. Great if you're a seller. Well, unless you have to go and buy another place because you have to live somewhere. Yeah. Unless you want to move to a cheaper area. But yeah, I don't think it's a secret that, Raleigh real estate market is just, it's been like this for quite a long time. It's always been on like top 10 lists of best places to live in the US. And when we first moved here, we used to say, well, Raleigh, it seems like America's best kept secret, but the secret is well and truly out.
It really
is. As I said, like over 60 people a day moving into county, and I think it's our resource saying the inventory is at an all-time low, whereas demand is at probably an all-time high.
Yeah.
It's just, real estate is supply and demand. It's just nuts.
Yeah, I think she said, or someone shared, that there was like 1,500 houses on the market where typically there's 10,000. I mean, it was like, whoa, that's kind of puts everything in perspective, and no wonder it's so crazy with multiple offers and offers going way over asking and this crazy due diligence stuff, and it's just insane. And as is normal with our life, we tend to just jump into the chaos and make crazy decisions along with everyone else. We said, why not buy now?
Man, timing, like obviously timing, like the stock market and real estate, timing is everything. And like, how's our timing?
Terrible.
Like, it's confusing. Like people saying, why don't you wait another year and see if it cools off, or there's going to be a burst? I mean, like, who knows? I mean, like, it's tough. Like, I can't see it slowing down anytime soon. Obviously, everyone has an opinion. I'm definitely no expert, but I just think of Sydney and parts of Australia. People have been telling me that's going to burst for 10 years, but it just keeps going.
Longer than 10 years.
It just keeps going. People just keep throwing money around. They just keep coming from everywhere, and the market just keeps going up. And that's kind of what I've been seeing here. So yeah, it may cool off or correct or whatever, but hopefully it doesn't burst after we've bought a place. But time will obviously tell. But we've,
there's too much growth predicted, and we can see like Google's coming and Apple's coming, and
tech scene just keeps to grow.
Coming.
Yeah.
So it's like it's evident that more and more people are going to be coming in just for those reasons alone. And so, as you said, we've seen it back in Australia. It hasn't busted in like longer than 10 years, 20 years or something. And so we just knew for ourselves that the time was just right for us. Actually, I wish, and hindsight, everyone loves it, but I wish that we had done it, a year ago. But we had been waiting
2 years ago.
2 years, but we had been waiting to get our green cards because we can't get favourable rates if we're on, a short-term temporary visa.
Yeah.
So we were restricted in that way, waiting for our green card. And then that came in during COVID. And, of course, with COVID and being in the travel industry, we just assumed we wouldn't get a mortgage. We didn't even think to ask. So that's my biggest lesson for everyone is just don't assume, just ask so you can actually get the truth. Yeah. And when we finally started talking about it and said, maybe we should just ask to see if we can, and we asked and we could get a
it was amazing. But like, just an example, like, because before we had our green cards, we were on a 3-year business visa, and even to get car financing, we could only get financed over the length of that visa. So for 3 years instead of 5 years, which made our monthly repayments higher. Yeah. So we just figured the same would be for real estate. But who knows, it might have been. But yeah, now that we have green cards and permanent residence, we're just like, my citizens, I guess, in that regard. So we can get 30-year fixed at the low rates right now, which is attractive. And I'm thinking, like, even if the market does correct in the future or go down, if we can lock in at a good long-term rate, and, people talk about inflation and stuff like that and interest rates going up. So if the market does drop in price, hopefully our low interest rate and stuff, it might help even things out. I don't know.
Yeah,
there's a lot of variables like everything.
And we're planning to staying there for some time as well.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Sure over that period of time.
If we can stay in the particular house for 10 years plus, we should recoup any potential downturns in the future.
Yeah, yeah. And so, for us being Australians, we're kind of blown away with the whole 30-year fixed interest, because in Australia we can get 5 years max fixed interest, and then you go into variable. So it's pretty amazing that you can lock in such low interest rates, especially now, for 30 years.
I know, it blows my mind. America, again, y'all,
love
options. I mean, like, Australia, it's basically traditional financing, like variable fixed rates. Like we come over here, the US, there's like all these different, like there's seller financing, there's lease options, there's, the 30 and 15 fixed rate periods. It's just endless again. Options are good.
Yep.
So, but yeah, I mean, and we haven't owned our own place for 20 years.
It's been a big time dream of us.
Bouncing around, whether we've been traveling full time in an RV or, renting apartments, renting condos or whatever. We've
living in tents.
When we first started traveling around in Australia, I was like, oh man, if you've seen some of the stuff behind the scenes. So owning our own home, there's always the debate, like renting versus owning. And then there's just, but I'm not going to get, like I said, we don't offer any financial advice on this podcast.
No,
and we're not
do
experts.
not listen to us.
Do not listen to us, whatever.
We'll share our story, but don't listen.
Renting versus financing, renting versus owning. There's definitely something emotional about possessing our own house and stuff like, and the energy that provides. And I'm really looking forward to that, having our own place that we can make our own and create our own memories without having to worry about landlords who's driving me nuts right now and have for many years, or living in above an apartment, above or below somebody, and noise complaints, whether it's they're complaining about our kids making noise or vice versa. Just so looking forward to having our own single family house, and it's just ours.
Yeah, and I know the girls really wanted that, and our lease was coming up for expiration as well, and we were like, we don't want to lock into another 12-month lease. Let's just try and get a house. Yeah. And so the girls are like, they've had this wonderful travel life that has been amazing and looks so amazing, but it does come with, sacrifices that they've made, and they're tired and they just want a piece of something they can call their own too now.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
It's exciting for them.
Yeah. So emotionally, like I can feel like the energy, like, they say you surround yourself with people and places and stuff to create energy. I'm like, it's just going to lift us, I think, emotionally, just to create, business-wise, family memories, everything like that. Just a different feeling.
We've got some major things happening. The girls are in school. We've got some structure in our life for the first time forever. We have a podcasting room and a house on the horizon.
What's going on?
We are becoming adults.
I don't know what to do with myself.
We're adulting.
Are we adulting?
We are finally adulting. Oh, wow. I think our parents will be happy that we're finally adulting.
Ticked a few boxes, huh? Kids are in school and we're buying a house. Wow.
We're getting serious. But that's, the chaos of the past few months. And we're going to share more of our house hunting experience on future podcasts, and we'll dive deep into that.
Yeah, I was going to say, maybe we, do we talk about our current journey, and because we have put in offers and that we've lost, but I
think we'll share.
We'll save it for another.
Yeah, because this is just a general update. But Craig has been putting stuff out on Instagram with some updates and stuff. So if you're curious to find out about that. Now you can go to some of our old updates, just look for the, Raleigh looking homes, and you'll see where he shared about what we like about a home, what we've put offers in, and how that's going. But we'll definitely jump on the mic in our new studio and record some
it's all going to come to a head soon, hopefully. So we got another podcast lined up after this one, but maybe the one after that we can talk about house hunting in Raleigh.
Yeah.
All right. So what else has been going on lately? Because this is more of a catch-up podcast since we've been MIA for several months.
That's right. Well, I've been enjoying getting into the community with the Women's Social Club, something I came across in Instagram, I think, and recently. I joined a few months back now, and I love it. Hannah Weisberg, I hope I've said that correctly, pronounced it correctly, but she started it in September last year during the pandemic, but a way for women to come together and connect with other women. But what I really love about it, and that's how I found out about Wine and Weeds, is that we have 3 catch-ups a month. One is just kind of networking, getting together, hanging out. Another, we learn something about a local business in Raleigh. And another is a community building one when we find out about non-profit organisations and, people doing great things for the community in the Raleigh area. And they come and talk to us and share about what they're doing. And then we do some volunteer work as well. So I just love it. I think it's such a great concept. I've not come across a concept like that before. And I think it's just empowering for women and just a great way to get to know Raleigh better. And I'm excited to be able to share that now through our channels, the different businesses and organisations that I'm meeting. So
yeah, awesome. Well done to
more of the Raleigh story.
Hannah. I'm sure she won't mind saying that. We confuse Megan or Megan, like we say names differently. But yeah, that's a great concept, and I know you're enjoying being part of a like-minded tribe of women like that.
Great.
And we always wanted to, we finished our RV road trip about 18 months ago, and we were so excited to get into the Raleigh community and meet new people and stuff like that. And then you know what happened last year. So, things are moving forward in that regard, although, it's being a roller coaster and stuff's happening again, unfortunately, but we'll see.
Yeah, we just keep our fingers crossed and hopefully we can get through, but no one knows anything. We've just got to remember to be kind, wear our masks, do what we need to do to, help the community, protect each other and stay connected to our local businesses and support them through this time.
Yeah. Oh, just on that community aspect, if you saw our Instagram live recently, we asked you if you'd be interested in a live meetup, come and hanging out with us, just casually having a chatting about all things Raleigh, having a drink, is a beer or wine or a coffee, whatever. So that's one thing that we've always wanted to do too, have regular, maybe monthly meetups. As fun as it is to hang out online and get to meet people and stuff like that, there's nothing better than face-to-face chat and
that's right,
socializing and having a drink and stuff like that. So we'll keep an eye on what's going on currently, the state of the COVID and what have you. So stay tuned. If we can and when we can, we're going to figure out a place to start having the meetups, and we're going to move around places probably.
That's right.
But yeah, we'll let you know.
We're excited. Another thing we really missed during COVID was live music. And that was one thing after our RV trip. And I actually put an update about this on my travel blog Instagram the other day. Was one thing I knew when we were on our road trip in 2019, the summer. I'm looking at some of our favourite artists, even artists from Australia were coming over and playing in Raleigh or Asheville. And, I'm sitting in the beautiful West Mountains of America and I'm going, oh, man, look at everything we're missing in Raleigh. I just want to be back home and see all this live music. And then we got back home and, of course, nothing happened. But tonight we're going to see Chris Stapleton.
Chris.
I'm excited. I'm so excited. It's like, finally.
Oh, one of these top songs like The Traveller. How fitting for us. But, yeah, I know, like the summer music season in Raleigh is one of the things that we loved moving over here.
I love it.
Going to concerts at, Coca Booth Amphitheatre.
But,
it used to be called Hotel Pavilion, but now it's Coastal Credit Union Music Park at Walnut Creek. Like we've seen Jack Johnson there a couple of times. We've seen Coldplay, Maroon 5. Who else we've seen there? Oh, you've seen, what's his name? The other country guy.
Sam
Adrena.
Hunt.
Sam Hunt.
That was fun.
Adrena. Yeah, we've been to Red Hat. Like, yeah, we love live music. It's great. So I'm excited for tonight. Should be good.
Yep.
We're just sitting on the lawn. Got the cheap lawn tickets. You know, just gonna chill, kick back, listen to the tunes.
Yes. Just hope that it can continue on for the rest of the summer.
Oh, and
Who
of
knows?
course,
Day by day.
the Billie Eilish concert you went to with Clara just before COVID was pretty awesome for her.
I know,
idol.
that was great. I feel like a little bit ominous about that because the next day we all went into lockdown. So I'm just hoping we don't have that message tomorrow. But anyway, a few new restaurants we've checked out or experiences.
Yeah, well,
do you want to share them?
Not new as in new to Raleigh, but
New to us?
Well, first of all, City Restaurant, the Lebanese restaurant in downtown. We have been to City many years ago, so it's been a long time between bites, and it's a great Lebanese restaurant. We've got a big Lebanese community in Australia, so it's so awesome that we can go and eat authentic Lebanese food here in Raleigh.
It was really good too.
Very tasty. So it was a cool date night, cool interior, but real nice, good atmosphere too.
Yeah,
good vibes.
Great jalapeno margarita too.
Yeah, and the bread. Oh, that bread, man! It's like dangerously good.
So good. Another one that had dangerously good bread that we went to recently, similar kind of cuisine, was Bosphorus in Carey, Turkish food.
Yeah, it's special. It was our first time there, believe it or not, but it's a very popular Turkish restaurant in Carey. A lot of great reviews, and now that we've been there, I know why. Excellent food, friendly service. We've been to Turkey. We went to Turkey in 2003.
Our first wedding anniversary.
Yes, Istanbul, still one of my favourite cities in the world. Amazing place, probably top 5.
Yep, great
and
city.
We've been to a lot of places. And we have a lot of Turks in Australia as well. So we grew up eating a lot of Turkish food, kind of similar and different to what you get over here. But so it's great to get some authentic Turkish food again. Like I love the the lamb and the beef and stuff. Like smelt in your mouth.
So good. And we also discovered in Carey Kebabish, which is an Indian Pakistani restaurant. That was also very good. And I also like that one was bring your own wine, which is very common in Australia. Many of our restaurants, it may be changing now, I don't know, but when we were like in our 20s and that, very common to go to a restaurant, have a lovely meal, but just bring your own wine or whatever you're drinking and you just paid like a $2 corkage. I don't even think they have a corkage at that restaurant.
No, I didn't verify, but you don't see that much over here. Like you said, in Australia, when we're growing up, BYO, bring your own, is like very common.
Yeah.
Makes it, whether it was wine or beer or whatever, just bring your cooler full of drinks and stuff like that.
That's great.
Or you go to a Mexican restaurant or, Italian or whatever.
Yeah.
So check it out. If you love your Indian food, it's popular. It's just right near downtown Carey. It's kind of down underground a little bit. It's got like a retro vibe going on, and family owned and operated. Yeah. Good service, good food.
Cool spot.
Affordable.
Yeah, get your $5 wine from Harris Teeter and head in for a nice meal. Love it. Speaking of drinks.
Yes. Burial Beer. Next door to Transfer Cove Food Hall. We went there for, actually it was drinks before. We went to City Restaurant, if I'm correct.
That's correct. It was the first Friday.
Yeah, Burial Beer Co.
Too along the way.
They're a brewery actually out of Asheville, and if you know Asheville breweries at all, they're top quality, some of the best in the country. So, it's a cool space. Like the interior space there's a few outdoor seating as well if you prefer to sit outside. But and top quality brews.
And if you are a Point Break fan, which hello, I've seen, I don't know that movie how many times. You got to go to Burial and check out the mural on the wall.
Yeah, there's a cool mural there.
It's Point Break. I don't want to spoil it for you. It is on our social channels. But it's a great mural.
Point Break, I mean, like Bells Beach in Australia features at the scene at the end there, like one of the best waves in the world. And it's on the professional surfing circuit. So, there you go. Boys.
Right.
Burial, yeah, check it out. And next door to Transfer Co Food Hall, a lot of great places to do in there. And you can, it's an easy amble from downtown, like from the Moore Square area or Fayetteville Street. Like we walk down there all the time.
And we went from bring your own alcohol to the Kabibish, I think I butchered that one, Kabibish restaurant, to bring your own food to burial because you can bring your own food in from the Transfer Food Hall.
Yeah, yeah, very practical.
Yeah.
Because burial, they don't serve their own food at all.
No.
And yeah, but like I said, many vendors next door in Transfer Co Food Hall. Where else have we eaten lately, roughly? Optimus, the Optimus coffee shop in the Oakwood area. Is it Oakwood?
Oakwood,
Mordecai area. Mm-hmm. Yeah, good coffee spot. And they got some food items as well.
Yes, and the Falafel & Co next door is great for falafels.
I'm going to share more about that on the blog soon, adding to our – we've already got a list of coffee shops on our blog, but I'm going to add in the Optimist.
Yeah.
What else?
I think that's probably about it. I think we've probably shared a lot in this episode of our updates.
To mind.
I mean, we're sharing everything on our social channels. So, I know what it is. You got to head over to Instagram and check out our latest reel of Craig trying Cheerwine. Now, I tried it first and Craig was nowhere around. I thought, oh my God, we got to get him on camera trying this because I thought it was absolutely hideous.
Oh dear.
So we got Craig on camera tasting Cheerwine, one of North Carolina's
iconic
drinks, most loved.
I mean, I don't know the history of Cheerwine or whatever, but here's the deal. We've been here, we first moved here 17 years ago, and believe it or not, we've never tried Cheerwine. And now I know why. I'm not missing anything because honestly, it was gross. In my opinion,
I felt
and yours,
sick in my stomach.
It was just so syrupy and like it reminded me of like cough medicine, like thick and syrupy and cherry and like ooh,
But we did have a lot of people say that if you put whiskey with it and ice, it's actually delicious.
Yeah, someone said go to the cookout, go to cookout and get it on ice, and it makes a world of difference. I'm like, okay, I'll take your word for it. It's been 17 years since it's took me 17 years to try it. It's probably going to be another 17 before I go near it again. I'll leave it up to the kids, and it means there's more for everybody else.
Lyra likes it, so.
But yeah, I'm sure, you have to acquire the taste. It's like us for Australians, like Vegemite. We grew up and love Vegemite. Mm-hmm. And anytime a foreigner tastes Vegemite, they screw their face up and it's like, oh, it's just like salty and
delicious
yeasty and
is what it is.
But the tip with Vegemite, have it on toast, you could put melted cheese on top. So keep that in mind if someone tries to, get you to taste test. But yeah, Cheerwine, you can, no offense, North Carolina, we love you. We love you, but Cheerwine's stretching the friendship. And I'll go back to my beer and coffee.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a big soda. I've never been a big soda person, period.
We
so
don't
I
drink
guess
it at all.
no, I haven't drinking soda for a long time. Unless, it's a mixer in, whiskey and stuff, but that ruins your whiskey too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
there we have it.
There's our update. We're back in our new studio, soon to have a new house, hopefully, and kids in school, adulting. It's going to be a great rest of the year and moving forward in this next chapter of our life.
As far as the Raleigh podcast goes, it's not, we never intended it to be just about us too. You just don't want to hear us dribbling on. So we have full intention of interviewing people in the community, like local Raleigh movers and shakers, whether they're entrepreneurs, business people, sporting people, whatever. So if you have any suggestions of anyone who's got a cool story, inspirational, we'd love to chat with them and just hear all about it and share it with you guys.
Yeah, and now they can come in here rather than doing Zoom because we all have Zoom fatigue. Yeah. So it's nice that we can.
And they don't have to come to our house because we don't want them to come to our house because it's stuff everywhere.
Yeah. But, kids.
But yeah, so we already have a series on our blog where we interview local Raleigh entrepreneurs and stuff and share their story, but we'd like to do it on the podcast too. I think that'd be pretty cool. So, we're going to try and put a list together we'd love to hear your suggestions. Anyone and everyone.
Yeah, please share them with us and follow what we're up to on social media, Instagram, stories. You know where we all are. Everyone's on all of them.
Yes.
And be sure to subscribe to the podcast on your favourite channel, whatever that is that you listen to. Please share us with your friends and leave a review too.
Yeah.
It'd be really helpful.
And we'll also put this out on YouTube and IGTV. So tag a friend who might be interested in two Aussies
hearing us rabbit
on about life in Raleigh.
And with that, we'll sign off.
Yeah. All right, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for hanging out. We'll chat with you soon.
Episode. Bye.
Bye.